Chosen ones, empaths, I don't want you to make the same mistake. You see, after a discard or after you was pushed too far, so you had to get away from the narcissist, you're in a very vulnerable state. Very early on in the journey, in the healing journey, you're in a very vulnerable state. We suffer from low self-worth. We don't realize our worth because we've been devalued to such high degrees. We don't realize our worth, right? And during this period of time, if the narcissist hasn't lined up a suitable source of supply, or they want to come back to finish you off, they often return. They'll return back. And some of us have been through the experience of letting them back in, and then the whole cycle repeats itself over again. You know, maybe a bit of a love bomb, not too much, and then it quickly goes on to the devaluation and then the discard again. I just want you to know your worth, your value, how much you're worth in the eyes of God, you know. Like, you're a unique creation and you don't deserve to be putting up with any of this BS, okay? And I don't want you to be getting involved in games where, say, you know, because they try and triangulate you. When they go with the new supply, they try and triangulate you. And I don't want you fighting with the new supply just for attention. Not for attention, but like fighting for the attention of the narcissist. Fighting because you feel like the new supply is complete scum. I know some of the new suppliers knew about us when they was getting to know the narcissist. But I want you to realize that the new supply is not your enemy. The new supply, no matter what, is not your enemy, right? If they went with the narcissist and they knew about you, they're just scum. They're not your enemy, though. The narcissist is the one that entertained it. The narcissist needs to be held at fault for everything. They're not a child, you know. They know right from wrong. And they don't need someone, just because someone comes onto them or they start entertaining something with a new supply. Don't fall into this triangulation where you're competing with the new supply. Just don't fall into it. Please press the like and the subscribe button. Help your brother out. Take 2 seconds of your time. Thank you. But just know your worth and never give in to the narcissist games. They're always playing a game. They're constantly playing these games after a breakup, where to try and reel you back in, to try to keep you hooked, to try and not let you heal. Or they don't want you to heal. Remember, they don't want you to get your light back. They stole your light. They don't want you to get it back. They want you to stay in the darkness. They want you to stay in the brain fog. They don't want you to rise up and become a better person and maybe potentially get on your purpose further down the line and find your meaning in life. They don't want none of that for you. They want your meaning in life to be them. They want your purpose in life and your existence in life to be revolving around them. So just know your worth and never give in to the narcissist games after they've jumped ship. Look, you've got to take it as it is, right? They've gone with someone else. It's disgusting. You can't risk your health for scientific reasons, you know, your health, STDs, etc. You can't risk letting someone like that back in your life who has shown that they're very promiscuous and they've gone off and done God knows what with new supplies. You can't let that back through your door. You certainly can't let that back into your bedroom. You just cannot let that person back in that far, because it's putting your life in jeopardy, to be honest with you. For those that have let them back in, I would advise you to cut them out as soon as possible, you know. cut them out as soon as possible. I know you feel like you want the happy ever after, but the happy ever after is never going to be with the narcissist. I'm sorry to be quite frank, but it's just not. You're not going to have a happy ever after with the narcissist. The relationship is done. Like, regardless of what they're telling you, they're future faking, they're telling you everything you want to hear. They're liars. They lie, they manipulate, they cheat, they steal. They're horrible, horrible, weird individuals, right? So you can't risk letting someone like that back into your life. Also, when you touch on the demonic soul ties, because they've been intimate with someone else, they're now carrying a lot of negative energy, a lot of soul ties that they've got from the other person, a lot of spirits, a lot of dark spirits, and they're confined by these spirits. So they may feel desperate to reach out to you. They're always trying to check your temperament through these subtle hoovers. I always say to you, hoovers don't always come in a way of declaration of love, but they come in a way of just checking your temperament. Hi, how are you? Things of that nature. Like, they're just checking what you're doing, or they may even do it through your children. If you have children, they'll get your child to say something to you, just to try and draw you out. You have to understand that the narcissist tries to draw you out. You see, that's what happened with me. The narcissist used to try and draw me out. During the relationship, at the beginning of the relationship, when I first started meeting them, they tried to draw me out. During the relationship, they drew me out. And during the discard and after the relationship, when we stopped speaking, they used to try and do subtle hoovers through fake profiles to try and draw me out, lure me back in, check my temperament. They'll try anything in the book to win you back, because you got to face the facts. And I probably should have said this earlier on. You're a potent grade A supplier, and they know they're not going to get that again. So they will try anything in the narcissist handbook to try and lure you back into their life. But what your journey entails now, after a discard, after you were pushed too far, so you had to cut them off, the main thing you need to focus on is your healing journey, is your recovery, is getting better, is rising above this. Because eventually you come out of the fog, you think about them less. And even if you do think about them, it's not in the rumination ways of where you were thinking of them as a loving partner. You don't think of them as a loving partner, as a soulmate, as a husband, as a wife, as a companion. You don't think of them like that. The way that I think of the narcissist is scum, is a dusty weirdo. Like, that's what they are. That's as far as it goes with me. They will never come into my mind and be received as a potential future mate. They never will come into my mind as someone who I love, as a companion, as a soulmate, as a husband, as a wife, etc. They'll never come in to my head like that, you see. And I don't want them to come into your head like that either, you see. The narcissist should never ever be able to be in my mind the way that she had me at the time, during when I was engaged, during when I was pouring my love forth. She will never get that from me again. She just won't. And that's what you need to go on your healing journey and try and achieve. You need to try and achieve liberation with yourself, and value your freedom, value your space from them. Take it as a blessing. This separation was a divine intervention. It's beyond the comprehension of the narcissist. They're not the master trickster that worked this all out and come up with some big rouge and big plan. They wasn't. They got exposed by God. They got exposed by the universe, and they're trying to seal up the cracks. So just for the note, like, don't, once they've jumped ship, let them jump ship and sail off. You gotta let them go. You have to let them go. You cannot afford and I'll reiterate this again, to let someone of that nature back in your house, let alone in your bed, you just cannot afford to do it. It is very dangerous. It can put your life in jeopardy. And if you've got children, etc., you've got people that depend on you, maybe even family members that depend on you, older parents or etc., you cannot put your life in jeopardy over a narcissist, because they're very unclean. They're very unclean. They're very promiscuous. They do all sorts of things sexually. And they don't care. They'll come back around you. And if you're willing to accept them back into your life, they'll happily be intimate with you as well and just add it to the list. They're very sick and twisted. So one of the main reasons why I don't want you to let them back in is because of the health reasons. Number two, the reason I don't want you to let them back in your life is for your own sanity and peace of mind. Number three, or join number two, is the soul ties. They're harboring a lot of spirits. They're harboring a lot of bodies. You can't risk to bring that energy around you. You'll have negative outcomes in life. You'll attract negative sort of things into your life. So just know your worth, man. Keep building on your value. Keep building on your worth. And know your worth. You really need to know your worth. And it may take some inner groundwork to really get to the point where you know your worth. But it's really an enjoyable journey, because you come so far from those days when you were plagued with rumination and you missed the narcissist, and you know your value now, you know your worth, you know what you have to offer, and you're not willing to accept nothing from no one unless they bring something to the table substantial. You know, if the only thing the person brings to the table is children and sex, look for someone else. If you can only count those two things, if you say, all right, no, they cook for me or they clean for me, you can cook and clean for yourself. What do they bring to the table of value? That's what we need to be looking for now in a partner. What do they bring to the table? And if they only bring sex and children, it's not enough. I'm sorry, but it's not enough. That's all the narcissist possibly bring, you know, is sex and children. We can do so much better than them. So just know when they've jumped ship, leave them to sail off, because they're going to hit misery. They're going to hit their miserable point. They're going to realize your grade A supply. The quicker you let them go, the quicker they come to the realization of how potent of a supply you actually was. So anyway, thank you for watching today. Please press the like and the subscribe button. If you would like to donate to the channel, you can find the link in the description box. And if you would like a one-to-one session with myself, you can also find the link in the description box. I have the second channel, the spiritual channel. If you would like to check that out, the link for that channel is also in the description box. So anyway, I'll be back with another video soon. Peace.